All right, now hear me out. Just hear me out. Now I know it doesn't look like much, okay? But soon, this garage here is going to become my workshop and also an entertainment area for hosting friends. Okay, so as you may have gathered by the title of my YouTube channel, Rose Leather Crafting, I make leather goods. My name is Chris Rose and I own and run Rose Leather Crafting. I mainly make wallets out of kangaroo leather, but for a while now I've wanted to expand, making leather belts and bags and all sorts of cool things. As you can see by the footage that hopefully Editor Me is showing you now, the space that I've got to work in is just a room in the house that my wife and I own. There's not much room for big items. As you can see, the workspace that I've got to do my actual leather crafting is only very small. And behind that is a very haphazardly designed pigeonhole for my leather storage. Below that, I've got a whole bunch of bins of offcuts of leather, so it's taking up a lot of space. I've also got a couple of IKEA shelves for random storage of everything else. Now, don't get me wrong, those IKEA storage shelves are really good, but it just takes up too much room. So that's why I'm here in my garage, which I'm going to be turning into my workshop. It doesn't look like much now, okay? It doesn't look like much now. The walls are a weird shade of dirty blue. You can see all the panels and it just looks like a typical garage in suburban Australia. The first thing I want to do though is make a table, which is this slab here. You can't see it all in this frame, but I'll probably show you some footage of the whole thing. I'm going to be making a resin epoxy table so that I can do all my leather crafting on that, and then also use that table to make the rest of the workshop and entertainment area. I want to turn this place into a bar using this bench here. I'm going to detach it from the wall, turn it around, and use the structure as a form for the bar. After that, I'm going to paint the walls and pretty up the place however I can. Put in some good lighting, and I'm going to take you along for the journey. So first things first, in making this workbench, I need to take the bark off the slab, because when you're pouring resin, it sticks to the bark and the bark will just come off easily. So you need to remove the bark so the resin adheres to the timber instead of the bark. Okay, so like I said, I need to take the bark off this, and I'm going to use a draw knife, and it's pretty simple. You just go at it like that. I'm going to cut into montage mode because having to talk to the camera while doing this is going to be a bit of an effort. So sit back and enjoy. Hopefully my music choice isn't terrible. Okay, I am significantly warmer now than I was before I took the bark off the edge of this slab. Now, in its current form, the slab is too long to be turned into my leather crafting table. I need to cut it almost in half. As you can see, it goes all the way down there. The first thing I need to do though is cut a straight edge on the top of the slab, or the front of the slab, so that I can use that as a reference to cut the slab halfway down here. The back end of the slab, I'm then going to cut lengthwise in the middle, flip that, and that can be used as part of the edge of the table as well. So the idea is I'm going to have the Y shape of the slab in the middle, and then I'm going to have the back end of the slab cut in half lengthwise as the edges, and then filling the rest up with epoxy resin. So hopefully that's going to look good, but right now I'm going to get to this. Okay, I'm wearing a different shirt. The reason for that is because it's been a few days since the footage you were just watching. The reason for that is because I was recording cutting the slab in half, but lo and behold, I didn't record sound. So I'm just going to show you footage of me cutting the slab in half here. And now I'm going to move on to explaining what I'm going to do next, which is flattening the slab. This magic stuff here is form ply. It's plywood with a special non-stick coating on it. Resin doesn't stick to it, so it's perfect for the form to build the table. But before I use it to lay the slab down and pour the resin over it, I'm going to be using it so that I can flatten my slab. Obviously this is going to be the base, but I've got some smaller pieces here which I'm going to use as the sides. This router sled, which I built a few days ago, is quite simple. It's got a hole in here which you can't quite see at the moment, but the router simply slides along the sled. You move the sled over incrementally and it takes off a little bit of the wood from the slab. So what you're going to see me do next is construct the slab flattening base, which will also end up being the base of the table form. Okay, so the slab is now level, but it's not flat. I ran into a problem, and it's only something that I picked up about halfway through flattening the slab. The sled that the router was going across on was at a slight angle. Instead of being flat, it was tilted ever so slightly. So instead of having a nice flat surface, there are little angled cuts all the way through. I'm going to go over with my orbital sander and fix that up, but yeah, pretty disappointed that I didn't figure that out earlier, but oh well, that's how it goes. Okay, we are in the home stretch. Finally, it's been about a week, but we're getting there. The slab is flat. The next step is to cut this down the middle and then going to flip it around and use it as the edges. I'll then screw and Tyvek tape on the edges of the form ply to the form so that we have a barrier and the resin can't escape. As you can see, that's the layout that I'm going for. What I don't like is on the sides there, the random right angles. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is take the jigsaw and cut those lines there, if I can figure out how to focus. There we go. So I'm going to cut a sort of natural edge type thing there. Okay, as you can see by these gorgeous sun rays, it is late in the afternoon. I am absolutely buggered, but the good news is I've cut all the timber the way that I'd like it cut. I've laid it out the way that I would like it to be laid out for when I pour the resin, which will be next video. I still need to put a bit of form ply on the end here and on that end as well, but I'm going to leave that for the next video. I'm not a woodworker or cabinet maker or carpenter or anything like that. I don't really have the skills to work with wood. I'm just sort of figuring things out as I go along and making plenty of mistakes. But I'm excited to see how the table turns out. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider liking it. Maybe leave a comment telling me what you liked or what you didn't like. I'm looking forward to some helpful criticism to improve my videos in the future. If you think that I've earned your subscription with a decent quality video, then please consider subscribing. Anyway, that's it for this video. So, hope you have a good one. See you later.